What's up, everyone? Nick Powills here with the weekly Sizzle. This week I got 5 things to talk to you about. Clearly we have a new site design, so hopefully you've searched around and seen our fancy new colors and our nice pretty layout. It is, I guess it's the 4th time we've redesigned the site, so that means one of 2 things. Either I am crazy and like change way too much, or 2, we're trying to conform to what you guys need as a reader. So this time it's a little bit of both. The new design, we've basically, again, pooled the best in class design elements across the web and tried putting it into our site. So you'll see a lot of new features. One of my favorites is the power rankings up top, which you can see which brand page is trending the most. We wanted to put a trend reader in here because we felt that future franchisees, this would be something that you guys could benefit from. Now the caveat in there is that it is only 1851 brands that go through the trend meter, but it does give you good insight into what brands are trending and who's sharing their information frequently around the web. We've added new tools for photos and for videos. We've adjusted the way that we deliver content, so hopefully we can keep you engaged a little bit more. So looking forward to hearing more feedback from you, and thank you to those who gave feedback along the way. We could not build the website that we've built today without listening to the great advisors that have been helpful along the way. Now, our political issues going on right now, very clearly, you can see all the stories that are filling up very fast that have something to do with politics. One story which I wrote last week, I think, this week, one of the weeks, they all kind of mesh in together, is what would happen if Donald Trump won the election? What would it mean for the franchise industry? And it's interesting because you can break down what would a candidate mean for any different industry, and you could come up with different results. If I look on Facebook as a barometer for how do people feel about Donald Trump, some people seem to like his very forward and open opinion about everything. And some seem turned off by it. It seems that there's not a lot of gray area when it comes to Donald Trump, that you either really, really like him or you really, really don't like him, and you're being very vocal in this Facebook world. It's interesting because if you flash back to, say the 2000 election or the 2004 election, different times, social media wasn't what it is today, and now it plays so much into the way that a candidate can trend. So Donald Trump, there's conversations happening in real time about him that would have been reserved for school or for church or for work. Now all these conversations are happening in real time. Back in 2004, I was actually running an entertainment and music magazine, and our cover story was Howard Dean. And talk about a guy that was completely trending towards being the candidate for the party, and then obviously he let out a screech, and that was the moment that destroyed everything. Imagine how quickly he would have fell to the bottom had social media been around, and it wasn't, but that moment ended up being so viral that it ended his candidacy. Here, it's interesting because now the conversations revolve around whether we like him or we don't, and you know, it's a different world. I think Barack Obama went through social media as really the first president to go through a social media age, and now we'll see what happens as president number 2, whether it would be a Donald Trump or a Ben Carson or a Hillary Clinton. Whoever it is, they're going to have to navigate the waters very carefully, and now everything that you do is under a microscope. That there's no blips. If it happens in a small little area of New Hampshire, it's going to go viral, and that's one of the risks. That if you're going to be in communications, it's going to be vital to be if you're in communication for one of the parties, it's going to be vital for you to be very much in control of what your candidate is saying. So Donald for franchising. Is he bad? I don't know. I mean, the guy has run billion-dollar businesses. Perhaps if the country was run by a trillion-dollar businessman, maybe it could be successful. Who knows? The column in no way is saying that this is our endorsement as a publication, but it is saying here are some valid points on why he could or why he might not be the best candidate for the franchise industry. Another story we have is, should franchisors endorse a candidate? As a PR pro, I would advise against it unless there's something from the greater good of you raising your hand and saying your opinion that can come from it. Again, going back to social media, when you go out there and you endorse a candidate, you have now potentially turned off someone that might have been on the other side of the fence to your business, and now you're really blending in personal and business. I, as a communicator in the social world and as a business owner, I'm very careful on what I consciously put up in my social network because I don't want to turn people off based on one opinion. I've been in discussions, and I'm very happy to say I'm down the very, very middle when it comes to politics. Probably more liberal on human interest and more conservative on financial. So I can see both sides of the fence, but there are those that are completely left or completely right. I think I did that the right way. That because of their passion for how far over they are, there is no listening to the other side, which is why these debates get as heated as they are. And even right now, all the debates that are happening on the right are still very intense, and you're talking about all within one party. Now when they start competing against each other, that's where it's going to get very loud, and it already is starting to get there. The Republicans very clearly are taking attacks on the president or on Hillary, and now obviously the Democrats are starting to combat back on probably leveraging the Trump story more than anything else. Should a franchisor endorse a candidate? Again, unless there's something great that comes out of it, I would rather walk right down that line, because you don't want it to have any negative effect on your business because someone who could be great for your business doesn't believe what you do personally. They might believe in what you do from a business standpoint, but don't believe in what you do personally. Politicians on Twitter. Within the Trump story, I actually wrote out some of the most followed people in politics and in entertainment. And the reality is, other than Barack Obama, everyone is in a far distant position. And even Donald Trump's not in the top 100 entertainers or politicians that are followed in a Twitter universe. But there are some that you should follow, and I think they can give you some good opinions. Like them or dislike them, Trump is all about drama, and he's very good at making his social footprint into a reality television sideshow. So anyway, there's a great article on politicians to follow on Twitter. We also did a story on NLRB for franchising. We tried to have some sort of dumbing down of what it meant to you as a franchise industry, so that you as a franchisee or you as a franchisor, there's a little bit of a guide there. Us as a publication, we're going to try to do better at giving you more insightful pieces that can help you understand or navigate things that are somewhat complex. So there is a story on NLRB, and that's obviously been a hot topic. Many of you have been involved in it and been very opinionated on what NLRB can mean for franchising. But obviously we need to give you more food to help you formulate the opinions that you have. And lastly, I guess that's it. I already talked about our new design. So those are the 5 things for this week. We appreciate you taking a peek at our site, and a lot more to come in the coming months as we continue to make improvements to better your entertainment pathway on our publication. So have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week. Take care.